Hi guys, happy Tuesday. So today I really want to just refer back to the self-audit and give you some action steps that you can use to apply immediately and start kind of working yourself forward from where you are now to where you want to be, okay? But it's really important that when that time comes to you, when you feel that like it's the straw that broke the camel's back, that you are like done, right? Line drawn in the sand, this is no more, and I'm moving forward. That you take a moment to kind of look at that, right? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to share it with anyone, but it's so important that you share it with yourself, that you have that honest moment and really look into it. Because when you can narrow it down to that point, when it stops being such white noise in the background of frustration and, an overwhelming feeling and anxiousness sitting on you, when you can quiet that noise and really see what it is that's causing you those feelings, then we can move forward. Then there can be a path that takes you, like I said, from where you are at that moment and going forward to where you want to be, right? And I'm going to share really two super simple ways that, when the time is right for you, you can absolutely apply them and start moving forward immediately, okay? But when you do that reflection with yourself, when you look at, where those feelings are coming from, put them on paper, give them a place to be, right? Get them out of your head. That helped me so much. I know it sounds silly, but the physical act of writing it down was like cleansing for me, right? I got it out of here, swirling around, continuing to just rattle me and fluster me. And it was out there on paper. It was tangible. I could see it. I could touch it. I'd physically put it there. That was a cleansing feeling for me, right? And from that, I was able to see it differently. It wasn't something holding me captive anymore. It was out there, and now I could do something about it. At that point, I felt like, okay, this is where I can start making change happen, because I can see it and I can start like moving my actions away from that, right? Once you become self-aware of what that is for you, it will absolutely draw you towards those next steps of changing it, right? For me, I was able to remove my emotion from that. As it sounds kind of silly, but I was, because it was out here now. It wasn't harboring, it wasn't taking up space inside me. It was out, and like I said, I could start working from it in that manner, right? I could take my emotion away from it and just see it for what it was, right? And those feelings weren't me. It wasn't me. Those feelings didn't define me, but keeping them inside made me feel that way. It gave me a sense of that was my identity. And that was messing with my head. So, like I said, write them down. Physically remove them, right, from your mind and put them on paper. See them for what they are. They are not you, right? Okay? And so from that, let me share kind of where I was with that. And I've rewritten this, obviously. I don't have mine from 5 years ago, but I still have those memories of what and how I felt and such. So let me share kind of the action steps that I want to give you today. And I just have a sheet of paper here, guys. It's nothing magical, but it becomes magic when you work with it, right? When you start putting yourself into it and taking it for what it is at that level for you. So here's where do I want to start here? My word was can't. I was always telling myself what I can't do. I was negative through and through. That was the lens that I viewed life on. And it sucks to say that, but I have to say it. I had to own that. I had to realize the words I was saying could change. I didn't know where to go from there, but I was finding others who did, right? So I took a sheet of paper, I folded it in half. And on one side, it says can't. And right across the other way, it says I can. I had to start here with all the can'ts that I was playing out in my head, and get them out of there. Literally get them out of there. Drawing myself to become more aware of what I was saying, in talking to myself, that inner dialogue. And when I would lead out with a can't, I could hear it then because I had drawn my attention to it. I was more aware of what I was saying and how I was phrasing it. And I literally would stop myself. I would stop those thoughts and force myself to look into what can I do? Okay. Maybe there is truth in this can't. Maybe I can't leave my home for an hour and a half, travel time and such, to take care of something for me. Okay. I really was uncomfortable in my skin. I did not like to be touched, which was really ruining my relationship. Getting dressed was just set forth more negativity and a bad outlook, and changed my demeanor for the day, right? Because I was carrying that weight with me mentally. And you kind of have to get dressed every day. So I was always meeting that, a horrible task, and it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't feel comfortable in my clothes, no matter what I picked. It just, I was tugging at this, things were tight here, how does that look from behind, what's showing, blah blah blah. In the warmer months, I never wore shorts at all. I was always covered up at the pool if I even thought about wearing a swimsuit, but I was always covered up with a towel or a shirt, something. I was avoiding pictures left and right. It was so hard for me to find a true before picture of me that showed me, because I wasn't doing it, guys. I wasn't in the pictures, or if I was, it was strategically placed and people around me, and it wasn't ever a full body picture because I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to be a part of that. And how sad. I mean, it sucks looking back, but that's what it was, that's where I was. And I thought, this is not okay. Continuing on in that manner was only going to set up my kids to start, adopting those behaviors and mindsets, because, we are who we are around the most, right? And I'm grooming these individuals, and I was sucking at life myself. So, when I drew that line in the sand, when I had my moment of this is no more, I can't do this one more day, I can't feel this way one more day, I started getting real with those feelings and writing them down. From being anxious, from overwhelmed, striving for perfection, like literally banging my head on the wall. Okay, not literally that, but that feeling of it should be better. I can do more. Why can't I? Whatever, finish the sentence. That striving for perfection was suffocating me. It was suffocating me from making any changes because I felt like it should be perfect. That was a crock of crap. I had no patience with anyone. I had no patience with myself, but it was coming out of my mouth too. At home, I just wasn't a nice person. I had a lot going on that I didn't know how to figure out, right? And so I started this exercise, and it was literally where I am, what is going on in my head with my emotions, how am I feeling, what is, where am I, literally, where am I in life right now? And then the where I want to be. Do I want to stay in this horribly walled up space of life where I'm keeping everyone at such a fingertips distance that they don't want to be around me anymore, right? That my kids wish to not spend time with me, because I was always nagging, or like I said, I had no patience. That was the road I saw before me if I continued to stay where I was. I needed to look at that and again, just being honest with myself and asking, where did I want to be? What do I want to change about this? Having my relationship back, where My husband and I actually communicate and hug and kiss, and well, we have 4 kids, so there's other things, right? But man, it just wasn't that way 5 years ago, you guys, where I could just get into the closet, grab and go, right? Put the outfit together, feel good in it, be confident, stand strong, walk taller, wear that smile genuinely, okay? That's where I wanted to be. I wanted to feel like that, where I'm like walking on, and the stars are just shining behind me because I feel so good. I feel alive. I feel, confident in myself. More organized, right? More a sense of calm, increasing patience. I wanted that from the inside out. Yeah, it started with me looking in a mirror and not liking what I saw coming back at me, but it was more than just a physical dislike. It was an inner dislike, it just wasn't a happy place for me. And I'm okay with that, and I'm okay telling anyone who wants to listen, because, I'm not the only one that has gotten to that place, right? And if you're feeling in that place now, or have been, like I said yesterday, and found ways to move yourself forward, absolutely amazing, because that's taking back your power. That's deciding that enough is enough, and you're ready to step up into this life and be in charge, right? Like I said, don't push the blame outward, but accept the control inward. And when I started taking control back over, it never felt better in the world. Like, it gave me a sense of direction. It was like, okay, this was the piece of the map, the roadmap of life that I was missing, right? I was missing it. I mean, completely. And when I got connected with the right tools and resources that fit my needs, that allowed me to move and shut down all these can'ts to all the cans that I could do, I mean, it was amazing. One, to know, like, yes, there is a way. There are other people out there like me. Similar stories, different backgrounds, different stages along the way, but I could relate to their struggles. I could relate to their stories, to their families, to their wants, right? And that made me feel alive again. I was like, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone in this, right? It was horribly isolating before, because I sure thought everyone else was walking around in their perfect pants, right? And I was the one who had mine on inside out or something. I don't know, right? But you get what I'm saying? Where I thought I was the only one who had those struggles, or I was the only one that felt frustrated and not knowing how to move forward and how to even get herself on the to-do list, right? Until I got connected, right, with the community that welcomed me, a stranger, with open arms, because that's what our family does. That's the community that I am a part of, that I fell into, stumbled upon myself 5 years ago. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to continue to shout my message louder and farther, right? Because knowing and finding this group to love me and encourage me and share and support, learning that I wasn't the only one who didn't have it all together. I want everyone to know that there is an avenue, right? That find others who are there, where you want to be, right? Where you want to be, seek out those individuals where they are. They're there now. They're on their way there now, right? They may be, 2 years down the road ahead, right? But you're moving in the same direction. They're going to help. They're going to be a valuable source of information to help you continue on that road, whatever path it takes you down, right? But you've got to know where you want to go, and then you've got to find the people that are on their way there or already there, right? And get aligned with them. Have conversations. Don't be afraid to ask questions. As a teacher, that's the number one thing I preach in the classroom. As an adult, maybe I kind of suck at it sometimes, right? It gets better with practice, right? One of the first questions I asked, because I was a fly on the wall for a good while. Like, I was there in the community, but I was like, out here, right? Circling around, watching, listening, reading, seeing things. One of the first questions I asked, and I hate it, I felt stupid. It just wasn't a smart moment for me, but I didn't understand. And they were sharing out something, and someone had listed HBD. No, HBE. Sorry, HBE. And I was like, what's that? I don't know what an HBE is. Do I need that? Guess what it is? It's a hard-boiled egg. That's what it stands for. 'Cause you don't always want to have to type that crap out. It's a hard-boiled egg, right? But my point is, I asked the question. I was nervous. I was like, oh, is someone going to respond to me? They're going to think I'm silly. No. I just said, oh, it's a hard-boiled egg. Go on about your day, right? I got the information I wanted. Just had to ask the question, okay? It's as simple as that, but I know it can also be as scary as that, okay? Like I said, get aligned with people who are where you want to be. Ask some questions. Have real conversations about how that works for them, how they've made it fit with their family. Do they work full time? Do their minutes kind of match your minutes? Are there flexible plans, right? And then try what they've done. If they are having success and have moved themselves from their place of where they were to the place of where they wanted to be that aligns with where you want to be, give it a try. Give it a try, because really, 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 we have to be true with ourselves. What's the worst that can happen? The worst is you can find out that just isn't a good fit for you, okay? But you're making attempts to move forward. Sure, you're going to have to try maybe a couple of different recipes. I don't know, of whatever we're talking about. Whatever aligns with you of where you're going, you might have to try it a couple of different times, right? It doesn't mean it's not meant for you. It just means you haven't found the right rhythm and the right fit to it for your schedule, for your goals, and for your needs, right? We have to be able to grant ourselves patience in this process. Again, another really hard thing, speaking of myself, but I know a lot of adults struggle with that, is giving yourself, granting patience to learn through a new process. I mean, we don't expect our kids to come out of the womb ready to walk, right? Maybe a silly analogy, but we encourage every step along the way, developing them, letting them learn, letting them explore and grow and strengthen themselves, building belief in themselves when they start to do the crawling, all the movements, right? Because it's all new for them. That's kind of where we are when we enter in, especially if we are adding in layers to help our physical body, right? We have to grant ourselves patience in learning those moves and learning the process, finding our rhythm, and not beating ourselves up for the time it takes. Instead, flip the switch and encourage yourself and celebrate yourself. Find others who are going to celebrate your attempts moving forward, right? We need that encouragement and we need that support. Okay, I know for a fact we flood that support and that encouragement to our family, to our close friends, to those we're connected with. We need to allow ourselves to receive it, right? And to give it to ourselves, to celebrate every step we take from moving ourselves from where we are currently that have caused us to be frustrated, stalled, and just, not our best selves, ticked off individuals. I don't know, right? To where we want to be, okay? But I just want to recap real fast. 2 simple strategies. 1 sheet of paper. Getting all of the feelings and thoughts that are overwhelming you and coming against you wave after wave, get them out. Put them on paper to physically see them, right? It helped me tremendously remove the emotion from it and allowed me to move forward quicker. Okay, because I was able to cut ties with it and I could just see it for what it was and start making an action plan. It's simply a list of can't and those negative things we tell ourselves that are really causing us to be stuck and holding us back to logistically, I can. What can I do? Okay, maybe I can't. Maybe I don't have the time for me as a mom of 4, working part-time right now, but I have a full-time job as well. I can't leave my home and drive off to a gym and attend classes on a set schedule that maybe doesn't align with when I'm free or when nap time happens, but I can bring everything home. That when nap time hits, that when, my husband's home and can watch the kids, or homework's happening and they're busy, I can duck out. I can duck out for 20 to 30 minutes and take care of me and start feeling whole again, right? What we tell ourselves we can't do to what really we truly can. And then being honest with yourself about where you are, what's causing, how are you feeling, what are those thoughts? What does life look like for you now here? And evaluate, are there areas that you want to change, somewhere you want to be different than that, right? Okay, so anyway, that is my talk today about slaying the nay, shutting down that inner negative and rewriting the script, right? Flipping it to work for you and finding what fits and feels good to move you forward in the things that matter most to you. All right, bye guys.